You heard that right. Missiles just slammed into Tel Aviv neighborhoods. And you know what? The blackout that followed may have just changed this entire conflict forever.
So let's break this down. We're talking about a direct attack on one of the most protected cities in Israel. This isn't about military targets anymore. Not really. This is about what happens when that shield, the one designed to protect civilian life, actually bends under pressure.
For the people on the ground, this whole thing became terrifyingly personal. In just a matter of seconds, a totally normal evening turned into absolute chaos.
It all started with that sound. You know the one. The sound everyone dreads. That citywide wail that means you've got maybe moments to find shelter. And then came the explosions. And listen, these weren't the distant thuds of interceptions people might be used to hearing. No, this was the gut-wrenching sound of direct hits right in the middle of the city.
And then everything just dissolved into the sound of shattering glass, car alarms going crazy, and that first, just deafening wave of shock.
And for so many, it was followed by pure darkness. The power just cut out, plunging homes and streets into a whole new level of confusion and fear. So, what did all that chaos actually look like on the ground? Well, the first responders painted a pretty grim picture. We're talking about a major impact on a residential building in Ramat Gan, a direct hit on a place where families were sleeping. At the same time, high voltage line got hit, knocking out power. And all across the streets, damaged cars, debris. This wasn't a near miss. It was a direct blow aimed right at civilian life.
And all of this, of course, leads to the one critical question of the night. The one that's echoing from ordinary people all the way to the highest levels of military command. Seriously, how did this happen? Israel has one of the most advanced, multi-layered air defense systems on the entire planet, and yet these things landed right in the heart of its most populated area. This is the big mystery here. Was this some kind of hidden weakness in the shield itself, or was it just overwhelmed, saturated with too many missiles at once?
Let's just look at the gap here between expectation and reality. The expectation has always been that central Israel is, heavily fortified, maybe not invincible, but close. The reality? A direct hit on a symbolic, packed urban area. It absolutely shattered the idea of containment, and it proved that Iran can still land these punches that have a massive, massive psychological impact.
And that's the real point. This wasn't just about physical damage. This was a message, a strategic signal from Iran, showing that even after weeks of pressure, they can still reach deep into Israeli territory, and more importantly, create fear. And that fear is the real story here. See, this attack wasn't just aimed at buildings and power lines. It was aimed squarely at the minds of the people living their lives there.
This quote really just nails it. When you hit a residential tower, you're not just taking out concrete and steel. You're attacking the feeling of safety. You're attacking normalcy. You're attacking the public's confidence in the very systems that are supposed to keep them safe.
For the people on the ground, life has become this exhausting, repetitive cycle. The sirens blare. Families drop everything and run for shelter. Then there's that horrible, tense silence while you wait for the boom. Afterwards, it's a mad dash to check for damage, check on your neighbors, and then you just wait for the next one. It's a constant state of anxiety.
And we have to go back to that blackout for a second. In a crisis like this, a power outage is never just a technical problem. It becomes this powerful symbol of vulnerability. It's a sign that the war can literally switch off normal life. Elevators get stuck, communication gets harder, emergency services get delayed. That darkness just fuels the panic, making everyone wonder what in the world comes next.
So what it all boils down to is this. The conflict stopped being some distant headline. For people in Tel Aviv, it's now immediate. It's the shattered glass on their street. It's the damage to their neighbor's apartment. It's the sudden, scary darkness inside their own home. It's become deeply personal.
And here's the really disturbing part. According to officials, this isn't the end of the crisis, not by a long shot. In fact, it might just be a preview of an even more dangerous phase.
I mean, the country's own leadership is signaling that this is far from over. When you hear the Prime Minister say the campaign is beyond the halfway point, he's telling the public to brace for a long, drawn-out fight. This isn't being treated like a short emergency anymore. This is the new reality.
And that's why this is so chilling. It's being seen as a proof of concept. Iran has basically just field-tested its ability to get past defenses and hit civilian homes. And the fear is that this wasn't the main event. It was just the dress rehearsal.
Which leaves all of us right here. This attack proved that missiles can reach homes right in the heart of the country. So the question now is, what stops the next wave from being bigger, more widespread? What's to stop the next one from reaching the entire city?